Well, I want to thank everybody for joining today's Code Ninjas call. These calls each and every week to help give you a better idea on Code Ninjas, what we're doing, where we're going, kind of what's happening inside of Code Ninjas. These calls are usually at the same format every single time. The first 10 or 15 minutes are always the same when it comes to just kind of giving you Code Ninjas by the numbers. We are currently the world's largest coding franchise, right, for kids coding franchise. When it comes to what we do, how we do it, has really been the differentiator in terms of just this coding area for kids. Just to kind of give you Code Ninjas by the numbers, some insight. The Code Ninjas, ourselves, we started really awarding franchises in March of 2017. That's when we started awarding franchises. We were building Code Ninjas as a franchise. That started in 2016. And as we moved into 2017 and as we started to create a really franchise deeper and really get a better understanding of the market and where we were going, we actually sold our award location in March of 2017. That's also the first month that we opened our first location in Pearland, Texas. And since then, so March of 2017, we had one location open, one franchisee that had 3 locations, and now fast forward to 2019, April 2019, where we're at. We have 460 sold locations in the U.S. We have 102 locations currently open, and we have 80 locations opening in 90 days. We have over 225 franchisees currently, so it's exciting and it's very validating from the marketplace. If you're just joining us, my name is Marty Flanagan. I'm the Vice President of Franchising with Code Ninjas. Myself, David Graham, and Bert Sensipon started Code Ninjas in 2016 with launching us as a franchise and awarding territories in March of 2017. So fast forwarding, 464 locations sold, 102 locations open, 80 locations opening in the next 90 days with 225 franchisees. It's been a very validating and very exciting last 2 years. And also just launching in the UK, we'll have our first UK location open outside of London by the end of the year, and now hosting Discovery Days here in the States and hosting Discovery Days in the UK. So it's very exciting. When it comes to the why, why is Code Ninjas, why are these and us as Code Ninjas, why have we really gotten to this place? And it's incredible when it comes to our franchisees and their story, and then looking at Code Ninjas as a whole. So I'll give you some insight. The why is really one of the biggest things that comes up and questions that's asked on a regular basis, is that why has Code Ninjas accelerated the way it has? Why have we accomplished what only 1% of franchise systems have ever accomplished, which is having 100 locations open in the first 24 months? Well, to give you the why, which there's multiple whys in there, the backstory of Code Ninjas. So this is how these work. After the first 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to move into a live Q&A. So if anything that I talk about right now kind of raises the bell and you want to ask more questions, you want to go deeper with those, with what I'm kind of that topic, you are going to have an opportunity to do a live Q&A. So you'll be able to ask me any questions you have on Code Ninjas or anything I may have touched on that or haven't touched on that you want to dig deeper into after this first. And that'll be pretty easy. I'll let you know how to do that. And that's really the most exciting part of these calls. We like that the best and so the people that attend are those live Q&As, because sometimes they just don't know the questions to ask. So to give you a little bit of a backstory on Code Ninjas, David Graham, the CEO and founder of Code Ninjas, he also owned a school that taught adults how to code for many years. He's been a coder and a programmer for over 25 years. His entire career. And that school that he had that taught adults how to code, that operated for about 4.5 years in 18 different cities. That was going for a vocational school, coding and programming and development to the workforce. And like I said, that operated for about 4.5. in 18 different cities. That company or that program now is a part of the Wozniak Group, or WozU, founder of Apple. So it was a very good program. As David was there wasn't a week that went by where he wasn't asked more questions about the younger generation. And as those questions kept coming in, it kept piquing his interest and saying, okay, what this younger generation now, why do we keep getting this question about how we get involved? And so as he started doing market research, looking at them, and as he was sitting in his son's karate class, he saw those belts, he saw the theme, and started putting it all together, and he said, you can teach kids how to code just like that. So as fast forward now, Code Ninja's main resource is called our program, which we'll talk about a little bit more. And as we developed Code Ninjas and deciding it was going to be an actual franchise versus a corporate-run entity, franchising is really critical in terms of delivering an exceptional experience in your community, getting engaged in your community, and really the free market is able to drive our brand forward, develop our brand, and develop our offering better than a single-run entity could. So franchisees are how we grow, how we develop our program, our brand, our experience, and it's how far we've come just in the last 2 years of being open and operating with franchisee feedback, customer feedback, parents' feedback, has really transformed our brand into something special, and that's hence why our growth is so incredible. We have 6 different opportunities for families to get in Code Ninjas. On the market today, everything is segmented learning, so Code Ninjas created something a little bit different. We're going to talk about our drop-in program, which is our 9 different belts. That's really probably the biggest curriculum piece that is going to be driving revenue into your center and has really created the most attention on the market. The majority of our owners are IT professionals or have a tech background or understand that tech sector. The second largest group are teachers. So this curriculum piece and really understanding this is a portion, but we always we want to get the message out there that we're not a curriculum company. We have world-class curriculum? Yes. Do we have a large amount of our curriculum being exclusive and proprietary? But really when it comes down to it, we want to be an experience company where when our students are coming in, even our parents coming in, it's really about delivering an exceptional experience, and that byproduct is having world-class curriculum. When it comes to that drop-in program, which we'll touch on now, that curriculum piece, that drop-in program is made up of 9 different belts, so kind of staying with that theme. Inside of each belt is a learned set of concepts. And at the end of each belt, our students are required to build a game that requires them to show proficiency in those skills and concepts they learned with inside that belt. And then once they're able to build that game successfully, they're able to progress to the next belt and work their way through all 9 belts. This curriculum is 90% proprietary and exclusive to Code Ninjas. This curriculum proprietary textbooks. This also has a exclusive robotics program that's built into this curriculum. This curriculum is what's called a flexible learning system. It is not a class setting. It is not a lecture. It is coming in at their convenience. So parents are going to be bringing in daughters, and they'll be coming in at their convenience, staying for 4 to 2 hours per week. This curriculum is all interconnected learning. So all these belts are connected and work together. It's called cumulative learning, cumulative curriculum. It's all intertwined, connected like compound interest. It all works together. This curriculum is about 3 to 4 years to accomplish by coming in for about 1 hour to 2 hours per week. And it is a self-paced but not self-taught program. So they are going to be coming in. They're going to be scanning their wristband, which unlocks the security system and allows them to be able to open up and get into the curriculum, grab the textbook. This curriculum lives on our platform in the cloud. This is only accessed through our dashboard. So students have a dashboard that's their dashboard. They can go on and they can advance in the curriculum. They can go back and they can actually do parts of the curriculum that they've done in the past, games that they've built in the past. Mom and dad can actually play the games that their son or their daughter has built in the past. So it's really about that engagement. It's really about kids having fun and parents seeing results. So we want that engagement with mom and dad as well. Those 9 belts also are a few different languages. It's not just a bunch of drag and drop. When it comes to these 9 belts, they're going to, in the first belt, we want them to have an easy win. This is about success, about them seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, feeling like they can accomplish something. First belt, they're going to do a little bit of scratch. And after that, they're going to work into JavaScript for about a year or so. They're going to Lua, and they're going to work in C#, all throughout their 3 to 4 years inside that curriculum. They're going to be doing the syntax and working through languages and learning that syntax. This is not a hacked-up version. This is not a drag and drop. It's actually going to be learning the syntax, work through the languages, and the tools work through. We believe and we know, based on our experience, that a great coder and a great programmer is not about their language, but it's about the skills that are behind a great coder. Those problem identification skills, problem solving, critical thinking, the collaboration, the leadership management, honing those skills to allow our students as they get older to choose their language. But in this place, it's really about developing those cognitive skills that are great thinking, great problem solvers through the curriculum at their own pace and having fun at the same time. This has to be fun. This has to be engaging. This can't be where they come in and they get bored and they end up having to just leave, right? It has to be delivered an exceptional experience. This allows us, curriculum and this content is in place, this allows you to really scale up your business and not have to hire coders and programmers. We hire code senseis. Code sensei, number one job for a code sensei is to deliver an exceptional experience. Their responsibility is to coach and teach the Code Ninjas curriculum. So they have that curriculum in front of them. They themselves are going to do the Code Ninjas curriculum. We help you in understanding how to find code sensei. 17 to 22 years old. They're not full-time programmers, developers. They are going to be individuals that are going to be in the field when they get older, but right now they're going to be just dabbling in that. And it's really something that they are going to be doing. They be in this field. So these code senseis are individuals that want to be here. These aren't the same individuals that are going to go apply to. These kids want to be in this environment. They want to be curriculum, want to be coding and working with kids and teaching kids when it comes to the Code Ninjas curriculum. That curriculum itself, like I said, is 90% proprietary and exclusive. That is just one of them get involved. They pay a flat tuition rate per month. This curriculum also shows reciprocity. It's going to be reciprocal between Code Ninjas. That they're going to be able to go to other Code Ninjas to be able to be involved and be able to just scan their wristband, sit down. The system tracks everything. So it cannot be abused, and our franchisees get paid immediately versus at free time use at their non-home location. That curriculum, like I said, is one opportunity for families to get involved. We also have something called camps. Camps are usually typically 3 to 5 days long. Camps, 12 different camps that we offer. Camps can be done inside your Code Ninjas, and camps can be done outside of your Code Ninjas, so they can be done out into the community. We also offer workshops. We also offer Parents Night Out. We have an after-school program, and we do birthday parties. So there's 6 total opportunities for families to get involved in Code Ninjas, based on their budget, based on their experience, based on their goals that they have for their son or their daughter. There's opportunities. You're going to see a lot of students that do the drop-in program, all very active in your camp program inside of your Code Ninjas because they are not connected. They're going to be 2 separate type of learning environments that they can be a part of. We have collaboration events. Where Code Ninjas compete against other Code Ninjas. And like I said, we're very close to launching in the UK with our first location probably open by summer. We'll be over there next month hosting a Discovery Day that is already filling up. So our Code Ninjas will be able to compete in the States compete against you compete against Canada Code Ninjas, compete against UK Code Ninjas. It's going to be pretty exciting when somebody in Minnesota can actually Code Ninjas in Scotland. That's going to be pretty exciting for getting that international out there. So this gives you some brief insight on our curriculum. Why do we franchise? I touched on that a little bit. As a franchise, you get full support from pre-opening to when you are open. It is ongoing support. We have built-in collaboration tools. The collaboration spirit that's within our franchisees is very strong. So they're very, very much helping one another on a regular basis along the corporate office, whether it be marketing, compliance, facility guide. We have everything in place, business plans, Excel, spreadsheets for performance. Everything is in place to allow you to be able to forge ahead. The path has been laid, the tracks have been laid with other franchisees, so you're able to really reap the benefit from that success. And with 8 locations opening in the next 90 days, by the time that you were able to become that's going to be well over 200 locations that are probably going to be open, which is very exciting. So that gives you a brief insight on that first 15, 20 minutes that we do on each call. These calls are all recorded and hosted also on our Code Ninja franchising channel, but not we really open it up to you to ask whatever questions you have. This is really my favorite part of these calls. If you've listened to the past calls, you know that these questions could go on for a half hour to an hour, or they could wind up within 10 minutes. It's really your time to ask whatever questions you have. Dumb questions. There are no crazy questions. And the questions can be repeated, and I'll do my very best to answer them for you. Every question is valuable. So if you have a question, this is going to be your time to ask it. It's pretty simple. By just hitting *6, you'll be able to virtually raise your hand, and I will unmute you, and you'll be able to ask your question. And it's such a fantastic job where nobody has any questions. We have over 30 people on the line today. And if nobody has any questions, then we'll wind down today's call early. If you, like I said, no questions, so please feel free to ask whatever questions you have for Code Ninjas, and I'll do my very best to answer them for you. Looks like we have a few questions. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, my name is Kiaya George. I'm currently living in the Virgin Islands on the British side. And I have been wanting to do a coding program here for most of the time that I've actually lived here, which is why I reached out to you guys, because after the hurricanes, we actually went back to my home in Louisiana, and they opened a Code Ninja in, I think it's in Shreveport. I don't think it's in Bossier, Shreveport, Louisiana. Yep. And it's just been in my face since then because I joined their Facebook page. So my question is, how difficult, or I don't even know if you can answer this right away, how difficult would it be to get one here? Because you kind of answered my question by saying that you're going to be open in the UK soon, and I was like, wow, that means they could probably do international, but how do we bring one here?
Email me. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you meet separately and let's talk about that. My email is Marty, MARTY, @CodeNinja, and let's connect on that.
Okay, no problem.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Marty, this is Jason Taylor. I'm actually calling you from Ridgewood, New Jersey. I think there's a Code Ninjas opening up in the town next to me in Midland Park. So first, I'd love to get a little bit more information about that location because it's very close to me, and I'd be interested to get involved. And two would be, could you share any sort of voice of the customer information for some of these initial locations that have been up and running for a while? You know, how do kids like the curriculum? Is there any information from that perspective that you could share about how it's going? I think that, well, when it comes to feedback, our Facebook pages are filled with it. So to really kind of, I can tell you a kind of a bird's eye view look at it is right now with Code Ninjas on average for our drop-in, we have a 7.6 month-over-month attrition. That's incredible. 7.6%
40% month-over-month attrition. Typically, in a reoccurring revenue model space, you're typically looking at a 30 to 40% month-over-month attrition. So to be at 7.6% for us means a lot of our students every month. So that's fun. You know they're having a good time. You know they're having fun. You know they're being engaged if you're keeping the majority of your students month over month over month. And then as you can do other reoccurring revenue models out there, that's a very good number to look at in terms of like comes to we're always receiving feedback and always growing our program, whether it be through our internal surveys that we give to our franchisees or send out to our customers. We're always looking for that feedback. The typical Facebook page is usually filled with it and online reviews. That's been really the drop-in program and the camps and workshops. So I'll give you an example of some modifications that we made. We only used to do camps inside of our center, and camps were 5 days long. Because of feedback and parent feedback, now we do one-day workshops, camps, and we allow those to go out into the school system. And that's because of parent and customer.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, Marty. This is Hamad here. I have 3 questions to you. I think the second question is partially answered. The first question is, has any of your centers been through all the 9 belts? And second question is that it is regarding the percentage retention of the students, which you said that attrition rate is 7% of students goes out every month. So I think so that is partly answered. The third one is that what is the top 3 ROIs for your franchise, and what are the bottom 3 ROIs in months?
Sure. So when it comes to the belts themselves, well, our oldest center has only been open up for 2 years, and our curriculum is 3 to 4 years long. So nobody's been through all of the belts yet because we haven't had centers open that long yet to complete all of the belts. So right now, 2 years and 1 month in, we don't have somebody that's a black belt yet. That takes 3 to 4 to do. So we're excited to see comes and it's going to be celebrated. When it comes to ROIs, I can only discuss financial and franchising. Franchising law prevents me from sharing any financial details of our franchise locations that are not broken down or listed in our franchise disclosure document. In fact, something called an Item 19. To ROIs, again, we can't go over exact locations. It's actually, so franchising law, every piece of financial details that you can share can be reflected inside of your team franchise disclosure document. So, and being that we're not approved in every state yet, every year franchises have to go through a renewal process if they make any changes to their FDD, which we have, our franchise fee went up. So that means we have to go through a process. We're approved in, I believe, 46 states right now. We're waiting for a few more, so I can't even talk about the financials on a public platform. I have to do that one-on-one, and I have to verify that your state is approved first. So I hope that helps.
Thanks, Marty. Can you tell me as a follow-up question, which is the center or what is the maximum number of belts so far achieved in 2 years in whatever that your centers that open early, and what is the percentage of that particular students that have completed the maximum number of levels?
So we have 100 locations. I do not know the details of all of the students and where they are. Do we know that? Do we have that data? Of course we do. But off the top of my head, it's going to be impossible for me to be able to tell you what the number 1 belt is, what the percentages are. Of 102 locations open, 80 more opening here shortly. We have all that data, but at the top, I'm not going to be able to spit out that kind of data.
Okay. Sounds good. Probably I'll try to reach on to you one-on-one to get more details, and as I'm interested, but I have a few questions. I'll try to reach out to your email address which you mentioned.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, you have a question?
Hi there. This is Miraj and Sudhanshu, my wife, also on the line. So thanks for the call. I think we recorded one as well, and listening to this, which is great. And I think some of the questions I have around ROI and stuff. I think you said we need to discuss more offline. So how do we get to the next step when we can discuss those things and understand what markets are available in state of New Jersey, let's say, and how do we take it to the next step? I guess that's my main question.
Yeah, sure. So you can reach out. So if somebody reached out to you already, you want to connect with them. If you haven't, feel free to send me an email and I'll get you connected with somebody on my team. New Jersey, I can tell you, is going to be very difficult to find an available location. New Jersey was one of our most popular states, and I believe we have close to 5 locations opening in the next year in New Jersey. So there's a few locations left, and my team will definitely work with you to see if any of those make sense for you and help you really identify those markets and help answer more of your questions.
So what?
And New Jersey is New Jersey. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Sorry, can you confirm your email address again so I can?
Sure, it's Marty. Yeah, and Marty, Marty, at codeninjas.com.
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome. Cool. Hi, you have a question?
Hey, Marty. My name is Ronaldo. Do you have available locations in Canada? And I took your email address down. Are you able to set up a private call? Because we have 12 questions between me and my partner, and don't want to bombard you here.
Well, I don't mind any questions you want to, but we definitely can. Are we in Canada? Yes, we have, I believe, 8 locations opening in the GTA. We have, I believe, right now close to 15 or 20 locations sold in Canada, and I believe, another 10 or 15 that are on deck. So Canada has been very popular for us, and very exciting. I believe Canada will be sold out by the end of May, or close to it.
Okay. Well, how do I find out if my area is already taken or available and get on that?
Well, one, you can look on our website, but also definitely schedule a one-on-one call if you want to look closer at markets and what's available. The most popular market. Are you in the GTA by chance?
No.
Okay, yeah, then don't say where you're at, but definitely reach out to us one-on-one. If you haven't had anybody reach out to you, send me an email, and then I'll make sure I connect you with my team. We can dig into your market, make sure that you have stuff, something. It's very promising when you tell me you're not in the GTA because, there's a lot of really good locations available outside of the GTA.
Yeah, I think you're going to love where we are, and I'm excited. We already own businesses and stuff, so is there any
exciting.
kind of is there any kind of way of securing more than one location at a time?
Well, we do that. As a new franchisee, we only allow you to secure 2 locations, but we also can work with you to strategically place those locations to maximize your community. So we can talk more about that online as well. But when it comes to 2 locations up front, once you become a franchisee, you can definitely secure more.
Okay, cool. And then what are the upfront costs? I saw them online. There's a typical cost. Which ones would be the ones that, let's say I wanted to secure this tomorrow when we set up our one-on-one call, what would I have to be putting down right away? And do I need my physical location in my city right away, or is that something you guys would help me strategically locate?
We would help you strategically locate cross streets within the markets where you want to be to maximize the area as well. So we use a cross street. When you a franchisee, you do have to pay franchise for each location that you're going to secure. So, for example, we're $24,000 US for Canada. We're $29,000 in the US. So in Canada, it's $24,000 to secure a location. So you have to pay that $24,000 for each territory up front. And that would secure your area. And again, the idea would be to strategically place your locations to allow you to maximize growth. We want our franchisees to be able to grow. We've closed like Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas. We've closed a lot of New Jersey. We've closed a lot of North Carolina, Charlotte, Raleigh. We've closed a lot of these markets and just allowing our franchisees to grow versus franchisees coming in. So when you look at a market that we're talking about, we'd have to look at, again, don't mention it, but we would want to look at that market and allow you to capture as much of that as you can within a couple of territories. So we talk more about that in detail.
Right. And then just like you touched on the last question. So if I opened up a location and like, just like somebody else that just asked the question, they see it in this neighboring city or the neighboring area, they get interested in it, and then they call you guys to open one. Is there any like way that I can have like first dibs on those? And you kind of touched on it, but I'm just not sure. Do you guys help? Like, at what point do you say you're going to allow other people to open up franchises in my city, or at what point do you say like, no, like this guy's crushing it, he can have them all?
Well, we don't do just because somebody's crushing, and I've been in franchising for a long time. Just because somebody's crushing it doesn't mean that they're going to expand. It doesn't mean they're going to be servicing their entire market. We don't do first right of refusal, as we wouldn't even be growing. We'd be dead in the water right now. Franchises that do first right of refusal, they don't really do that anymore. That's kind of a thing of the past. It really stunts growth and stunts opportunity. You really don't know how well somebody's going to do with a franchise, with your partnership working back and forth. It's more than just crushing it with numbers. It's about a partnership and long-term relationship. So It's something that we want to grow with you. We want to work with you, but we can't trap markets if they're not paid for. So like when we talk about 464
you're saying if they're not paid
locations, correct, they have to be paid for. Correct.
Yeah, so if the money's there, you guys will give, like, because you said only 2 at a time, so that's why I was questioning that. Like, if that person has the money and wants to open up locations, and they've already opened up their 2, and you like the partnership, you wouldn't have a hard time giving them more, kind of a thing. Anyway, is it based on? Not at all. Is it based on sales, like that you favor people, or is it?
It's not really a favoring. It's more of like just how the relationship is working out. I mean, when it comes to securing locations, if you as a franchisee are doing very well and you're growing and your partnership and you're great in the community, you're great with us, and you're the trust and the profit there, we want you to grow. We want you to grow with us.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. This is a great call. I'm going to send you an email right now and hopefully set up a one-on-one so that we can get on this, because you said that you're closing up locations in Canada fairly soon. So looks like my window's kind of small here.
That's all right. Yeah, definitely send me an email. Let's definitely remember, we award franchises. We don't just give it to the first person who has money. It really comes down to the partnership. So definitely, please email me and let's go down this road. See what happens.
Love that. Thanks, Marty.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hey, Marty. My name's Chris. I as well am in Canada. So I was just asking, I wanted to know more about the competitive landscape and if you guys have come across any in any markets and what that looks like.
Yeah, competition is going to pop up everywhere, whether it's a mom-and-pop shop or whether it's going to be another franchise. I think the biggest thing that anybody has to pay attention to in competition is going to be treating your market, even if it's not their competition, come. When it comes to what we have done, and you compare us to any other coating franchise or company, period, out there, we have 2% of franchise brands have ever accomplished, period. If you look at the coating space, there's a couple competitors out there. One has been around for 7 years. I believe they have like 17 or 18 locations open after years. One has been around for about 5 years, and I believe they have 2 locations open. And just a reminder, we've been now awarding franchises for 2 years and 1 month, and we have 102 open, 80 opening here in the next 90 days, and 464 sold.
Amazing.
So
that's great.
Most of our franchisees are IT professionals. They've done their research. They've dug in. They've looked at, start our own. Do we go to a franchise? What do we do? The more you examine it, the more you dig into it, the more you see it, the more you understand it, the more you're going to have on Code Ninjas, just like so many entrepreneurs have grown the way we've grown.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned the dashboards. The kids come in and they log into their dashboards and stuff. And those dashboards are in one system that they can go location to location, and it can populate as soon as they scan their bracelet.
Yes. So when they come into Code Ninjas, when they scan in, they're going to log in. It's going to go right into their dashboard. It's all cloud-based. It lives on our platform in the cloud.
And they have a home base location, but they can go to any location and pick up where they leave off, kind of thing.
Yep, and that's paid. like that owner just has free kids coming in all the time. No, that owner is going to get paid, and how they get paid is the money's going to come from that home center. So if a student is out there and they go use another location, first of all, the system's going to track it. So it has to be, it's not like they can take advantage of it. But that home location is going to send monies without, they don't have control over it. It happens automatically. Monies are going to go automatically to that visiting center. So if that student goes in, scans their wristband, money's automatically going to move from the center to the visiting center. So that visiting owner is going to get paid. It's not like that kid's coming in and just using his center for free.
Cool. And POS system. What POS system is it that you guys have incorporated?
We built our own.
Oh, you built your own? Okay.
Yeah.
And I would I opened up a digital advertising company about a year ago with 3 partners, and we're interested in understanding more about the digital marketing strategy as well for this once it's open, or I guess to get students in and to really understand more about the franchise. Can you shed a little bit of light on what you guys are doing now? I know you guys are just building franchises for the most part. How do you typically get kids in? And I see that there's $5,000 for a strategy up front. So if you could just talk more about that.
Sure. So the first individual that I hired, his name is Andy Giefer. He's a marketing director for Code Ninjas, and he was the digital marketing director for one of the number 1 franchise brands in the world. And we were there together I was there for 12 years. He was there about 6 years. I had left and came to Code Ninjas. A few months later, he had left and was on the free market, so I recruited him to come to Code Ninjas. So he was a digital marketing director for 6 years at the number 1 franchise in the world right now, and he had left there. I brought him aboard over here, so that was the first person that I hired because I knew the value of our franchisees. So I don't mean to correct your statement here, but we're not just focused on building franchises. That's happening organically now. He kicked us off, and now it's happening organically. But his focus and his team's focus is driving traffic to our centers, having our centers. So when it comes to our franchisees, them getting the traffic, and he's been doing that. But diving into digital marketing strategies and what we do, we provide roadmaps. We provide 12-week digital marketing strategies before you even open your door. So that whole road there, and when you come to a discovery day has an entire segment that's just focused on the marketing strategies and as a presenter of that. So you really can dive in on the digital marketing strategies with him as well. We have actually about 5 franchises that own digital marketing companies. One's in British Columbia. There's a few down here in the States. They actually, just like yourself, own a digital marketing company and are currently our franchisees. So
yeah, that's awesome.
There's a lot of value there. He was the first person that I brought aboard. There was 4. I think he was like a year.
Awesome. Yeah, I've heard that story. The person I was talking to leading up to this actually was telling us that story, so that's great to know. Now, in terms of the after-school program, how does that work? Is there anything in terms of pick-up and drop-offs at schools, or is there bus systems? Is there anything like that, or is it just straight parents drop them off and pick them up?
Well, the after-school program is different than the drop-in program. Parents dropping their kids off and picking them up would be the drop-in program. After school is where you are driving to the school with your Code Ninja wrapped van, picking up kids and bringing them to your center where they're going to spend the next 3 to 4 hours.
Got it.
So 2 different programs, 2 different agendas, because they're not going to sit around and do the Code Ninjas curriculum for 3 to 4 hours. They're only still doing it based on the drop-in permission. Our system doesn't allow kids to use it for 4 or 5 hours a day or 4 or 5 hours a week. It restricts them.
Okay. And you guys, how does the busing work?
You would have to buy a van, Code Ninjas,
and just wrap it.
Get your permit. Get your permit. Yeah, we don't. Yeah. You can trust a local company, but I can promise you, based on what I know our franchisees do, you're better off going and doing it all yourself, getting your permit that allows you to do it, and then you go and pick them up.
Got it. Cool. All right. Thanks very much.
Hi, you have a question?
Hi, Marty. What type of age restrictions that you strictly enforce for the drop-in program?
We are 7 to 14 years old.
Is that really the strictly enforced age rule, or is there something?
Well, we have some 6-year-olds that come in. It has to do with their their reading ability and comprehension.
Okay, not older than 14.
No, we don't want 15-year-olds sitting next to 7-year-olds, and I don't think 15-year-olds want to sit next to 7-year-olds.
Okay. Are there any other programs that you are planning to target towards high schoolers or college students?
Yep, the Code Masters program will be released here in the coming months, and the Code Masters program is for 4 up to 100 years old.
Okay. And that will be part of all the franchises once it's available?
Yep.
Okay. And what type of marketing support that franchise would get if they are really, lacking the growth? Is it just the first 12 months? I know 12-week you said, and then there's a discovery day. But after a year,
it's all of our support is ongoing. For as long as you're a franchisee, you have marketing support. We don't market for you. We don't spend money for you. We give you the pathways, and you adjust your budget accordingly.
Okay, so it's up to the franchisee to do the marketing.
Yes. Well, it's not up to you to do the marketing. It's up to you to pay for the marketing. Okay. There's 2 different things there, right? Do the marketing means you have to come up with all these different, whether it's mailing pieces and strategy. No, all that's done. You just have to adjust your budget and pay for it. We don't pay for your marketing for you, and we don't take money from you to market for you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks for your questions. Hi, do you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to find out more about the proficiency of students as they're leaving the program with a black belt. How does it compare to, say, somebody who's been through a coding boot camp? What's their level at the point of completion?
Obviously, when it comes to a coding boot camp, usually that term is used for adults.
Right.
When it comes to we don't work with adults. We're 7 to 14, so we focus on these. We don't focus on the same skill set of vocational. So when it comes to, just to give you an example of the black belt, all curriculum out there, whether it's for 7 to 14 or younger, all the curriculum has guidelines, has a box that you keep the students in, because you learn the skills and concepts, which we have through our belts. That 9th belt is an open platform. So they go from complete conception of a game, they do total development of that game, beta test that, release that to the marketplace. So, and all the steps in between. So when they're at that level, it's not like they have boundaries that keep them from saying, you'll have a lot of companies that say, oh, build your own game. Yes, you're building your own game, but you're building it inside the restrictions that they give to you. Where when you look at our black belt, there's no restrictions that we're giving to you. You're going to be using C# inside of Unity, which is very powerful, and it's going to allow you to go from complete conception in your mind of a game to developing that game, to beta testing that game, to releasing it to the marketplace. We have a curriculum roadmap that actually shows you all the skills and concepts that you're learning, that our students are learning, all the way through all 9 belts. And again, that takes 3 to 4 years, but still we have a curriculum roadmap that allows parents to actually see their son or their daughter's learning inside each belt.
Okay. Another question for you regarding the number of code senseis. How do you determine what number of code senseis you may need? If like for example, I'm somebody who is familiar with coding and I'm considering starting this as a business, do I put myself as a code sensei, or am I just looking to hire folks and I'm running the entire thing?
Well, so I don't know anything about you and how you are, so I don't want to give you advice to tell you should be a code sensei. But typically code senseis, you're going to have 3 to 5 code senseis. You could have more, but typically it's an 8-to-1 ratio. Now, you may say, hey, I'm a professional coder, programmer, just like David Graham, the CEO and founder of Code Ninjas, and you may be like, you know what, I want a 5-to-1 ratio. That's up to you, right? I mean, if you want a 5-to-1 ratio, go for it. 8-to-1. When our students face a problem that they can't work through, they're going to raise their hand. A code sensei is going to come over and see them, problem solve with them, and then the student's going to continue to progress while the code sensei goes works for somebody else or is just kind of supervising and having fun with the kids. So it really, we have some, the majority of our owners are coders and programmers, and some of them, they 8-to-1 ratio, a couple owners that do 6-to-1 ratio. It really comes down to you, and also comes down to the bandwidth of your code senseis. You can get a really good code sensei that can handle more than one that's kind of just kind of getting started.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hi, it's your wonderful friend Kiaya from the Virgin Islands again.
Wonderful.
You may have answered some of the questions that I have, but I'm going to ask some of them anyway. One, you did answer about the Code Master, because I was going to ask what was available for those that are older. But more importantly, at the end of the years that it takes to master and get your black belt for a child, or whatever happens after the Code Master, what certifications, or are there any certifications that are available at that time?
Well, sure. Code Ninjas is going to be which is our current program we were discussing. The Code Masters program, that will come out, and that'll be out in the coming months. So that's not available yet inside of a Code Ninjas. It's just our curriculum we just talked about, those 6 different opportunities. When it comes to certifications, Code Ninjas has the only learning management system for coding. That's our game development platform. There, unfortunately, are no certificates. We're kind of creating our own here in our own path, but there are no certificates or anything that is awarded to somebody who's proficiency in different levels of coding for kids. There is out there. But our game development is the only LMS in the entire market today that tests the proficiency and concepts that our students are learning, or anybody would have to learn in terms of a great coder. So if you look at anything in terms of the skills and concepts that make up a great coder and what we teach, there's no learning management system on the market today besides what we offer inside of our center.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our school systems, international and domestic, don't have certificates or any levels of awarding anything. That's what we've created with Code Ninjas by our belting system and our certificates when they complete that belt. Even our code senseis get a certificate that they can take with them out into the marketplace. So when they go apply for a job, they can say that they taught kids how to code for X number of years at a Code Ninjas. And our goal is that would be a known thing. Like Code Ninjas is going to be a known thing on the market, and be something where maybe certificates mean something to employers, to schools, to kids and families.
Okay.
Because nothing is out there today that does.
Yeah, so you're really looking for recognition in the long run to say, oh, you went through Code Ninja, then of course. Because the reason I'm asking is because where I live, there aren't many developers. And I'm one of the few that I know that can pretty much pick up any language and develop in it. So I've taken a keen interest in trying to get it to the children, except there are no programs to support it. And so another thing that I've noticed, and I don't know if anyone else on the call can attest to this, but, people are kind of degree hungry. And so when I was working for other people, because I work for myself now, what I would always do with my staff is forget the degree, go get the certification. Not to say that, the degree doesn't matter, because I have some, but when you can't get a degree, get a certification so that I could change the trend, especially when it relates to the IT field. And so the certifications would really, really be important for what I'm trying to implement in this area that I'm in. I think there was another question, but you may have answered it for someone else because there was the marketing question. And I think I had another one, but I've been holding these questions forever and I forgot, and I'm driving.
Well, feel free to shoot me an email. We'll set up a call, okay?
Okay, I do definitely want to talk to you, Marty. I actually called you on Sunday, and I was like, it's Easter. He's probably not going to answer, and you didn't.
Okay. Well, send me an email. We'll set up a time for sure, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hi, you have a question?
Yeah, hi, Marty. This is Madhur Garg calling from Chicago, Illinois. First of all, thanks a lot for this great introduction, and it's really exciting to see all the good work Code Ninja is doing in educating kids. So I'm a software engineer myself, and I really like your business model. And my family is already in franchisee right now. We own some restaurants, in Chicagoland. And we exchanged an email about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you told me that the Chicago market is already saturated. But I'm still very interested, and I would like to know if there's going to be any future opportunities in this area, and if there will be, how will I find out if something opens up in future?
Yes. Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is continuing to check back. I mean, right now, Chicagoland has over 30 locations opening in the next 18 months. How something would open up would be based off of not deciding not to move forward or not to open. So as of right now, say the best thing for you because would continue to check back. I mean, Chicago was very, very popular for Code Ninjas. Chicagoland was.
Okay. So just keep in touch with you through via email. Is that what you're recommending?
Yeah, Yep, I would say that would be the best. That would be the best.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Marty.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, you have a question?
Hey, it's Chris again calling from Canada. I just had another question. You said Canada will be sold out by the end of May. What does that mean?
Well, we go just by the pace of what's happening right now in Canada. Just by that pace, I believe Canada will have very limited, if anything, available at the end of May, beginning of June. I think it'll be very tough to find a location.
Okay.
Just by going by the pace. That doesn't mean that other areas won't open up after. I mean, some people decide maybe not to move forward, or maybe they move a location. But if you just look at the pace Canada has about 50 total locations that can happen for Code Ninjas. And right now we're already half sold out there, and we were shut down for the last month in Canada's approval process. So it's now I actually stopped marketing in the GTA because I have, a few hundred people wanting to open up GTA. So it's us just kind of working through individuals to find out who'd be the best fit for us and where they want to be.
Got it.
In fact, our next Discovery Day, we have current Discovery Day. We have 20 from Canada, and we have 10 people coming from the U.S. So usually it's the other way around. Usually it's 30 from the U.S. and 10 from Canada, but Canada was shut down for a month because of their approval process with us, which happens every year. And this time around, we have a part of Canadians coming down to be a part of our Discovery Day, which is exciting.
Well, get ready to drink with them.
I live in northern Minnesota, so I'm actually further north than a lot of those guys are.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. Thank you. All right. Last question.
Hey, Marty, this is Jason again. I had a question. What's the party line on sort of some of the competitive online products like Tinker and Bitsbox that are, A, not restricting time, and B, maybe the barrier to entry is a little lower because the kid just gets online and signs in and goes?
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, that's like learning how to swim. It's not even the same of learning when it comes to what you mentioned there. Anything you're going to do online is going to be very, very limited on the growth of what you're going to learn, and also whether the parents aren't sitting down with them. Even if it was more complicated, one of those you make it a longer drawn out program where they get deeper into the weeds like Code Ninjas does. and makes it fun, if they did that, you're still trusting in your 8-year-old to sit in front of the computer for 2 hours or an hour every week and do that curriculum by themselves. It's a different world. That's why Mathnasium, Kumon, up in Canada you have Oxford Learning. You have franchises like Code Ninjas. You have independent businesses, child enrichment programs like Code Ninjas, whether it be with sports, whether it be with coding, reading, engineering. Independent entrepreneurs and independent free is way better for our kids than sitting online and looking at a computer. And that's kind of been proven by everybody else, right? And besides even just Code Ninjas, but it's really that's really scratching the surface. I love those programs because all that whet the appetite of kids. Because when they come into Code Ninjas, it's a whole nother level of fun, engagement, games. It's a whole nother level. We actually have a lot of curriculum companies coming to us now wanting to create exclusive content just for us because obviously our footprint has gotten so large now.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thanks for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I want to take in your time. If you have more questions, and reach out to me, Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, @codeninjas.com. Feel free to reach out anytime. If you're interested in attending a Discovery Day, they are by invitation only, and you can reach out to us and we can talk what it looks like as well to come to a Discovery Day. Thanks again. My name is Marty Flanagan, Vice President of Code Ninjas. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, and thanks for taking the time today to connect.